Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.
It's quite pungent.
Oh, yeah.
It stings the nostrils. In a good way.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.
It's quite pungent.
Oh, yeah.
It stings the nostrils. In a good way.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Yep, it's made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.
It's quite pungent.
Oh, yeah.
It stings the nostrils. In a good way.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This knife has a straight edge on it, so it's very easy. And maybe in our world here, there lives a happy little mountain. On it, so it's very easy. Maybe in our world here, there lives a happy little mountain.
Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm your host here with Snay, Sam Capizzi, and Cryptosomniac, here to bring you everything crypto-related, where the rich never sleep. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about BCH and Bitcoin and what's going on. Okay. Okay. And we'll take as many of your guys' questions too as possible. I have you guys up. I have you on my screen over here. Let me move that up. Let's first before we answer any questions, let's just talk a little bit about BCH and Bitcoin. First of all, let's just explain to the user, or the average person, what differences are between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, for many of you know what it is. Bitcoin Cash was a hard fork of Bitcoin, which took place about 3 months ago. August 1st, right? And the biggest difference is that it has a bigger block size than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's block size is 1 megabyte, and Bitcoin's cash's block size is 8 megabytes. And that means essentially it could fit more transactions per block inside of that block. It also has a faster block discovery time. In fact, what is that website that we were on earlier today with the graphs of the two?
Bitcoin info. Actually, let me check that out. It's a Bitcoin info chart.
Bitcoin.com. So we're gonna explain some of the differences between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Was this it right here? Where did you have the Bitcoin Cash?
So now you go into hash rate.
You do it.
So this is what I would go into. Bitcoin info charts. And I would type in hash. You guys could follow along. Make sure you know, this is good information. This is good information. So you might want to look at this later. So you know, you're not going to probably look at this URL. Bitcoin info charts. Bitcoin info charts, and then type in hash rate, and then it'll show you this. Zoom in, and then you just zoom into 3 months, and you can compare it with BCH here. So this is orange line is Bitcoin Cash, and the blue line is Bitcoin. And right now, that is wow, that is impressive. Very impressive.
Earlier today. Let's start basic. Let's start basic. Before we get to hash rate, let's start with the block time. Where's block time? Where's block time? There we go. Block time. So the block time is one of the key differences between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. On average, it appears that Bitcoin Cash's block discovery time is a little bit less than that of Bitcoin. So they discover blocks on the chain a little bit quickly than they do. Additionally, as you know, the block size is bigger. The average block size. However, for Bitcoin Cash, very interestingly, is the Bitcoin block sizes on Bitcoin Cash are 8 megabytes. They are rarely full. They're never full. They're never full as a block because not a lot of people are using Bitcoin Cash. You can see Bitcoin Cash's block sizes are actually smaller than Bitcoin's block sizes, even though they have the capacity to fill up to 8 megabytes. You can see in Bitcoin they have the capacity to fill up only 1 megabyte. And very often they are pretty full. Bitcoin Cash on the other hand go up to 8 megabytes. Though it's not used. I did not mean to zoom in like that. How do I unzoom? 3 months. 3 months. So that is one of the key differences. However, just having a bigger block size does not necessarily mean that all is dandy and fine, and that we're going to be faster by using bigger block sizes, being able to process more transactions. One of the biggest things or issues is that you require the miners to go out and buy more space for accommodating those 8 megabyte blocks if they were to get full. So say each 8 megabyte block was just like the 1 megabyte blocks are full now in Bitcoin. That requires the amount of storage on the miners end. And we know that miners are necessary for transacting all of these processing all these transactions on the chain. So if we require them to go get new storage, it's not reasonable to think that 100% of the miners are all going to go upgrade their equipment to 8 times the storage size. They're likely are not going to do that.
I'm sorry guys, we just read that. We'll fix our echo here. Sorry guys.
Yeah, I got the echo.
Yeah, it should be. It should be fine now. Sorry,
Echo
guys.
is off now. Sorry about that. But anyway, the Bitcoin again. So it's not feasible to think that everyone out in the world is going to go upgrade their equipment. It's just not going to happen. So yes, there's a delicate trade-off between upgrading the block size. Yes, you can fit more transactions in each block, but you also we'll push miners out of the game and you'll have less miners. And if there's not enough miners, then Bitcoin isn't anything without the miners.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I know we had that double audio. So what we wanted to go over is this is the Bitcoin chart. So if you just type in Bitcoin info or bit info charts, and then type in hash right after it in Google, you could see the difference of hash rate between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash.
I think I should start over. A lot of people ask me to repeat everything. So
yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Let's start from the top with this graph. So I wanted to explain the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash at a very high level first, just to show you guys what you're getting into, if you're selecting Bitcoin Cash over Bitcoin. There's a couple of key differences in how it actually works. And what I want to show you is this chart. And what did you type in to get to there again, Snake, from the beginning? Bitcoin info charts hash.
Yep, that's exactly.
So if you Google this, and I'll just put this in the chat too so you guys can follow along. Actually, I'll just put the final link in there. And if I click on this one right here, Bitcoin info charts, and then I click BCH to overlay it with Bitcoin Cash. There we go. Then you'll see some information here.
Now you're going to type in 3 months.
And we're going to bring it into 3 months down here on the right. And I'll just link this into the group so you guys can all... thank you, Live and Trust. Yeah, if you guys like this information, feel free to throw us a thumbs up. It's pretty late here, and we felt it was really important to get on here and show you guys, check out what's going on. But so anyway, we're back on the website. Check out the link if you want. Here are some of the biggest two differences. First off, the block discovery time is a little bit faster on average than Bitcoin. You can see right here, if we graph block time, for the most part, the red is under the blue, with the exception of a couple of spikes. So the block discovery time of Bitcoin Cash is a little bit faster than that of Bitcoin. Right. And most importantly is the block size. So let's go over to block size. Where is block size? Where does block size go?
So it's block time, transaction value. Hold on. It's
block size. There it is. That's at the beginning. Okay. Sorry. So block size. So when we upgraded and split Bitcoin on August 1st into these two coins and Bitcoin Cash came about, Bitcoin Cash has the capacity to fill up to an 8 megabyte block. Bitcoin has a capacity to fill up a 1 megabyte block, and it usually is always full. You can see the block fullness graphed here. It's usually very close to 1 megabyte. Bitcoin Cash, however, is not very high because it's not used a lot yet. Its block size seems to be about 100 to 200 kilobytes on average, right. But it has the capacity to go up to 8. What that means...
So this is essentially what this term is called is variable block sizes. And so variable block sizes means, you know, your block doesn't have to be full of transaction data or hash data. You know, where it's a cryptographic hash from your public and private keys. It doesn't have to actually have that be full of data in order for the block time to actually complete. So it's variable block sizes and variable block times. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries. So the block sizes do two things, and there's a very delicate trade-off in trying to determine is a bigger block size better or is a smaller block size better. So by making a bigger block size, we have the possibility of putting in more transactions per block because there's a limit to how many transactions you can put in each block. And that's the whole reason why Bitcoin takes time to confirm in these blocks, because you know, there's only so many transactions that can get filled in a block, and if yours doesn't get put and inserted into the next block, you have to wait till the next block is discovered, which again takes like 5 to 10 minutes. So you can fill more transactions in a bigger block size using an 8 megabyte block size. However, the trade-off there becomes the miners need to process all of these transactions and mine all of these blocks. So what they need to do is have the storage to accommodate that. So let's just pretend that the block sizes are all full at 8 megabytes compared to Bitcoin's 1 megabyte. That essentially would require miners to get 8 times the current storage that they have on their computers. They'd have to upgrade their hard drives to have 8 times the space that they currently have, and that costs money. And to be honest, that's, you know, you can't expect you're going to have a conversion rate. Not 100% of the miners are going to go out and upgrade their equipment. They're going to, maybe you'll get 70% of them to upgrade, or 50% of them to upgrade, or maybe even less than that. Maybe 10% can go out and afford that equipment.
We did break past that 2,000, and we are at 2,800 for Bitcoin Cash.
2,800.
2,800. This is the most remarkable green candle I've ever seen. And I'm on the and right now I'm looking. Do you have the charts up, Sam?
That's
so
insane.
Let's actually pull up a chart real quick. You know, we'll go more into depth what Bitcoin Cash is, Bitcoin versus Bitcoin. But I think you know, it's been around for a couple of months. But I hope that was a good overview for you guys. That was you know, what the differences are and what that really
well, that's
means.
the delicate trade-off again. Right. That if the miners don't go and upgrade their equipment to accommodate for those bigger block sizes, we will have less miners, and without miners processing all of these transactions, then it's really pointless to have bigger block sizes. So that's a very delicate trade-off.
Actually, could you actually put it to the USD pairing so we get a better picture? Because Bitcoin's plummeting while Bitcoin Cash is, you know, not.
So this is the daily chart. This is probably the greenest candle I've ever seen in my life. Right. We're now at $2,800.
So pull it to the 15 minutes, Sam. And it's even more remarkable. Like that's some of the most remarkable candlestick pattern I've ever seen in my entire life. Honestly, that 15-minute mark. Like we're approaching about $10 billion, and we quickly dropped down actually to 2,100. We were at 2,700, but apparently I'm reading 2,100 now with a massive bump down. But I don't know if that's a glitch or not. But let's see. I'm gonna refresh. But this chart is showing 2,700. Yeah, so I do believe that was a glitch on Bitfinex's part, or whether it was quick sell down. Actually, it was a very quick sell down because the shadow is still there. So actually, Coinigy is still showing 2,700.
Let's see what coin market cap.
There it goes. It jumps down.
There's a wick.
Yeah, there's a massive wick there. So this is very high sell volume. This is a lot of people participating, or a couple of whales literally competing for control here. So we're at $22 billion of daily volume traded. 22 billion, guys. I just want to, just enunciate how big of a number that is. 28 million. I mean,
28 billion.
28 billion. Sorry. 22 billion. Sorry.
22 billion. Yeah,
22 billion. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Before we talk about any more charts and all this stuff, I just want to get it out there that what Jihan Wu and Roger Ver are doing out there is insane.
Right. And, in
my opinion, it's 100% market manipulation.
Right. I mean, I completely
agree.
believe
in Bitcoin Cash.
I completely agree. And I don't believe in Bitcoin Cash. I don't like them too as individuals. And, this is absurd. If this was to happen in the traditional market, they would be sued so hard they wouldn't even be able to walk.
Roger Ver owns the site Bitcoin.com.
Right, and they were kind of the forces behind bigger block sizes for that.
They have a lot of the hashing rate and mining power behind Bitcoin Cash.
Right, and I mean, Antpool is the biggest mining pool, and Jihan Wu owns that.
It is absurd. I honestly think, this is my opinion, just like they had a lot of say over Bitcoin Cash, SegWit 2X, upgrading to the bigger block size there, it became very obvious that people without the option of upgrading to bigger block sizes in SegWit 2X had only one choice. If you enjoy bigger blocks, it's to go to Bitcoin Cash. And they are taking a humongous advantage of that. And now people are FOMOing the hell in. And they're going to cut everyone's throats and sell. Who knows when they'll sell? Maybe they're selling right now.
Maybe they won't.
Maybe
sell.
That was the end.
Maybe Bitcoin Cash. Maybe the flippening is real. Maybe this is the flippening.
But I don't think it is.
I mean, I don't think it is either. I think SegWit isn't a bad move, and I even though I do like bigger block sizes, I don't think it's absolutely necessary to use Bitcoin Cash right now. I think SegWit is good technology. And just it is a little ridiculous right now. I've never seen 157. I've never seen a move this large ever. Just to get the magnitude of what's actually happening, this is some of the biggest price movement
there
I've ever
has
seen,
been an article floating around, and I want to pull it up because it's been in our Moon Lounge as well. Let me find where we put that earlier. And I want to read it to you guys because if you haven't seen it yet, it's important to know. Mm-hmm. And I personally think that this article was leaked by someone a part of, purposely, leaked onto the internet here. This is from an anonymous source on Pastebin, and I'll read it verbatim for you guys. Traders, certain information has come to my attention that is causing me grave concerns, and I feel it is my duty to warn each and every one of you. We all know the scaling drama has caused a huge rift, resulting in Bitcoin forking into the soon-to-be Bitcoin Cash. I know many have large holdings and savings in Bitcoins and are hodlers and will never sell. So when the selling starts, you may lose everything if you don't also sell. Gentlemen, this is certainly not going to be gentlemen. Certain information has come to light from backroom channels, sources I cannot disclose. Even writing this post will probably reveal my source, but I feel by God's will, I must warn you all. Selling is coming. Selling the likes of which hasn't been seen like Mt. Gox era. Already, as I type this, battleships of Bitcoin are being shorted
but
on all major exchanges.
There's a lot. This is a lot of FUD. You know, they don't touch about.
Let me finish it.
This could be a lot of speculation.
Gentlemen, the enemy, the big blockers, have colluded and joined forces. The Chinese, Jihan, and Co. have put together a plan to replace Bitcoin with Bitcoin Cash. The plan goes like this. Chinese miners, F2 Pool, Ant Pool, etc., have organized with major exchanges via Huobi, OKCoin, etc., to support and launch Bitcoin Cash. Initially, they will let everyone who wants to sell. Once the coin has bottomed out and everyone who wanted to sell has sold, they, Chinese miners, Jihan, Chinese exchanges, will begin accumulating lots and lots of Bitcoin Cash. They will then begin to pump the price to around 0.1 BCC per Bitcoin. The big pools won't mine it. They will let the smaller pools see the returns from mining this expensive but low difficulty coin and start mining it. Later, the larger pools will join. And as we know, Jihan has a lot of hashing power. Their plan is for Bitcoin Cash to have more hashing power than Bitcoin. And let's be honest, once the Chinese move over, that is pretty much it. Around this time, the hard fork section of SegWit2x is not going to happen. It never was. Bitcoin Cash will then be seen as the original NYA coin. At that point in time, Bitcoin Cash will be on all major Chinese exchanges, possibly some Western exchanges as well, and have majority hashing power. Western companies and other merchant providers, BitBay, AtSpare, etc., paid off by Bitmain, etc., will go along with the new Bitcoin Cash narrative and will push for the Bitcoin Cash to be called Bitcoin on all their platforms, leaving only Coinbase, etc., all which will then be the odd ones out. Now comes the scary part. The old Bitcoin, the Bitcoin we know and love, is going to get destroyed. What determines a coin's success? Its market cap. Big old school blockers and miners are going to dump Bitcoin back to the bottom. They will take literally billions and billions of dollars out of Bitcoin. They will use the money to fund the marketing and development or Bitcoin Cash. Think Bitcoin Core fired. Think Forbes article, why Bitcoin miners and companies are moving to Bitcoin Cash. Think why the market is choosing Bitcoin Cash as Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Core. They will islay the market as spoken that people have voted with their money.
This is terrifying.
Right now, massive, huge shorts are being built. Already on Bitfinex, shorts are at 32K, not seen since the $200 levels of Bitcoin. These kinds of numbers of shorts, and it's climbing all the time consistently. They have a lot of coins to short. The most painful kind of selling is where it never bounces, and if you remember Mt. Gox, where the price of Bitcoin tanked from $1,000 to $70, you'll remember what no bounces feel like. And I can tell you, this won't be any better. Good luck all. Remember, fair warning. Below is I also have some Slack and Telegram logs. I will sort them out later when I get back. I just want to confirm what I can safely disclose. First, for my own protection. And as you mentioned while you stopped me, I think it's 100% FUD. If I were to totally give my honest opinion, I totally think this article was written and leaked, not written by Jihan Wu directly or Roger Ver, but someone inside, and was purposely leaked. I really think that. And I think that they are going to sell all their Bitcoin Cash, when they see fit, today, tomorrow, next week, whenever.
But like just looking at it like at a fundamental standpoint, Bitcoin Cash isn't bad. I mean, it's not a bad transaction medium, right? I mean, if you think Bitcoin is good, you can't knock Bitcoin Cash, right? But just the way that it was literally shoved down our throats is just a little bit absurd, Nevertheless, I still held on to my Bitcoin Cash as a hedge against my Bitcoin. I will always hold my Bitcoin, and I will always hold my Bitcoin Cash. I don't think I'll be doing anything with that anytime soon. But I will set my stop loss levels. I mean, I'm definitely going to be taking some profit here. But it is pretty ridiculous. Really ridiculous.
If we're going back to the trades, I really wanted to point out one of the most interesting things I saw so far was, and I know it's not entirely applicable because this is totally news-driven, but I have never seen an RSI this high in my life. 100 is the highest the RSI can go. It's currently at 97.16.
And that's on the daily, guys. And that's some of the most impressive numbers I've ever seen. It's crazy.
price line. There we go. We are at 90. It doesn't tell me exactly. We're at 97. I've never seen anything this high. Let me just pull up Bitcoin for you guys and show you Bitcoin's highest RSI in recent memory.
So a lot of people right now are asking us, what levels? Hey, Sam Snay, like what levels are you going to be trading at? And this is so completely unprecedented. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it does go up to close to 3,000. I mean, I do think we'll be staying to this low 2,000 or maybe even crashing right below, but this is completely unprecedented, right, Sam? So it would be unjust for us to give you a level that we don't have full confidence in, right?
But we have never seen an RSI this high in my life on the daily chart. So it's extremely overbought, if we're talking technicals. Obviously, this isn't, and you can't rely completely on technicals if, for example, Bitcoin Cash is the go-to, the one that we should have. But if you I'm reading Nasha's comment, if you feel like if you like BCH and you like bigger block sizes, then of course pick some up and have it as a hedge against Bitcoin, or sell all of your Bitcoin if you're a fan of Bitcoin.
Or what would
Cash.
be a smarter move right now, instead of buying into Bitcoin Cash, and if you really don't like Bitcoin and you really believe in Bitcoin Cash, either buy Ethereum or go into Tether. I mean, because honestly, if they're both going to both keep dropping like this, it's just smarter to go into Tether. Just to make sure you're holding some of your profits, because you don't really know what's going to happen right now. Bitcoin could continue to plummet, and it's not an inverse relationship 100% proven, right? So obviously there is a significant inverse relationship where the money's being pulled out of Bitcoin and put into Bitcoin Cash, but it's just a smarter move to take profit at this uncertain time.
So what USD Tether is, if you haven't used it before, is just a cryptocurrency pegged to the US dollar. It's a way for you to stay inside of crypto without going back to fiat and having all the confusion whether you need to claim taxes and all that. You can stay inside of your Bittrex account or your Poloniex account and cash into Tether and then buy back into Bitcoin cheaper. So if you're looking to buy Bitcoin, personally, I'm if you believe in Bitcoin, I'm fine with throwing levels out there. I think below the $6,000 mark was a good time to buy. Like right now, if we pass below 5,000, what I would do is I would stagger your orders in, because no one can predict the bottom 100%. But if you had the fortune of cashing out any Bitcoin up here at the top, buy back in now. If you still believe in Bitcoin, buy back in a little bit more down here, and then a little bit more down there. And we like to ladder in our orders. Don't ever purchase all in one direction. What I would do is, say you have $100 to purchase Bitcoin with, I'd purchase $25 of it right now. Then if we drop below, say 5,000, I would purchase another $25 worth of Bitcoin. Wow. If we hit 4,500, and the way I would find those levels is I would look at key areas of support and resistance to help you identify those levels. And we can do that with Fibonacci retracements. Why don't we do that?
So just to get a perspective, we have a 97 RSI for, 97 RSI for Bitcoin Cash. Mm-hmm. And for Bitcoin, we have a RSI of 21. So it definitely is a significant inverse relationship, but you can't bank on that, right? This is very unproven science here. But we haven't seen levels this low, RSI levels this low in quite some time. Even before China FUD, maybe that small little correction on the 21st, and that 21st correction was the same thing that boosted the in August is the same thing that boosted the hash power and Bitcoin Cash's price. And what did Bitcoin Cash do? It came plummeting right back down. It shot up and then come plummeting right back down.
Something we didn't cover earlier, and we touched on it, was that chart of the hashing power, hash rate of the two. Something we found interesting earlier today, And maybe it was just the lag time in the graph. This is a daily chart, right?
Right.
This is a 3-month chart.
Right.
So this is not completely accurate.
Right.
I don't know how often this chart is updated. So that's a little tricky. But what we saw, interestingly, the hash rate for Bitcoin Cash was not even close to that of Bitcoin's. Yet we saw such a humongous price jump in Bitcoin Cash. But, you know, the Bitcoin Cash's hashing rate hasn't changed at all. However, I guess there's probably a lag because the zoom that we can go in here, the closest we can go in is...
I mean, it still breaks it down by days, right? So today,
yeah, that's true.
So today, so yesterday, you could clearly see that it was increasing. Day before that, where it really broke out, you could see it was increasing. And today, it's inching ever so closely and closely to the hash rate. I mean, it's just...
Why don't you explain, what is hash rate's name?
So hash rate is the speed of which you could process or solve a problem. Did I get that right, Sam? How would you explain hash rate? I was just trying to simplify it as much as possible. So what hashing is it's basically what a cryptographic hash is a complex series of letters, alphanumeric numbers or letters, and it pretty much is a code which can only be unlocked if you have a private key or if you have the public key and you're the sender. And so in order for miners to mine through these networks or verify these blocks, this is in terms of hash per second. Well, how would you define it, Sam?
Basically, the amount of power going into mine new blocks. Correct. It's the amount of in some ways, the amount of electricity required or put in, the amount of work required to mine new blocks, the amount of work required. That it's basically a graph here of the amount of work required to mine the blocks on the Bitcoin chain as well as the Bitcoin Cash chain. But like I said, I don't know how accurate the chart is because I don't know up to what minute this is accurate. So I know it says we're on the 11th of November here, but what are we in real time right now? I don't know. I'm sure it's changing a lot right now as all of this is in flux. So I don't know how good it is if you're trying to, parse information to the minute or hour here on this chart. But it was something interesting to look at, regardless.
But I think maybe it is a little too aggressive, the title here of our video. But I don't think anyone should be panicking right now. What do you think, Sam? I mean, maybe hedge your bets, maybe ladder some out, take some profit. I mean, we've been advocating taking some profit since we were in the 7,000 levels. And, maybe you do want to take some profit. It's always smart to take profit, but I don't think there's any real reason to panic at this moment. I mean, almost every single vendor still only takes Bitcoin. Almost every single vendor still only takes Bitcoin. So if not for a correction, and the flippening is real, it could very well be happening. But I just think it's a little too aggressive or a little bit too early. I would like to
show you guys. Let's forget about Bitcoin Cash for the moment. And people are interested in knowing how low can Bitcoin Cash go. Something that I would like to chart is very consistently over the past couple of drops. Mm-hmm. Let's graph what kind of percentage drop, and they were very, very similar. Let me show you guys what indicator I'm looking for. I'm looking for a price range. So if I graph, damn it, I really want to pull this over first, not graph it. This is the daily. I want to graph the percentage drop from low to high. So from its peak back in the beginning of June to the middle of July, we dropped about 40%. Right? Let's do it again for the next one. So we had this big run up in September before the China FUD, and we dropped almost the same exact amount. 40%. We dropped 40%. Look at that, spot on, same exact amount. If we were to use the same theory, the same range, let's use that again. We were as high as 7,800. We could drop to I would not be surprised to see us go to about 4,800.
I mean, even below that, my biggest concern would be the parallel channel I've been, really sticking my guns to. And if we do get past 4,500, I'll be concerned. I'm still not going to be panicked too much because I'm still holding on to some of them. Actually all of my Bitcoin Cash that I had at the fork. So if the flippening is real, okay, it's real. I'm prepared for it. But if you do think if you don't have any Bitcoin Cash, I mean, I still wouldn't panic. Bitcoin's been fluctuating right now. Actually, I just watched it drop to 55, and then now it's up to around 58 right now. So, obviously these markets are being moved very, very fast, and people are paying attention. These are big people that are paying attention to here because it's almost 2 a.m. on the East Coast, and Coinbase is lighting up like I've never seen before. And Coinbase is a Western exchange, and I don't think it's much to worry about right now. I mean, until it gets down to that 45 level. I mean, if you do want to take profit, take profit. You should have taken profit while you were headed down from 7,000 to 6,500. But it's always smart to take some profit. But I mean, I wouldn't be touching anything as of right now. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think it's important to stay calm and stay collected and don't FOMO into anything.
Victor commented that isn't talking about historical data thrown out the window in the context of this quote-unquote unprecedented situation. To answer that, I don't think it's entirely unprecedented because this is, this news right here was a very, very historical mark. This was a hard fork in of itself. This was actually the beginning of Bitcoin Cash. This was China FUD, a massive piece of news in which, big runoff was a number of things here, and including, banning Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in China. This, is nothing else, fear of a new coin being created, of course, but I don't think that there is necessarily reason to be concerned. I mean, of course, like I said, I think a lot of it is, let me turn off this color thingamajig that makes my screen real dark, but I'm not a big believer in Bitcoin Cash. I do think a lot of it, I know that so much of this is market manipulation. For example, like, look at this. Like, let me show you these candles. This is not your average person. This is not me, you guys. This is big institutions. Not even big institutions, because big money in Bitcoin isn't even really here yet. But like, as soon as China FUD, hit, there were people to buy that back up, and that candle's more than just me and you guys. And that's the same thing over here today in present time with Bitcoin, and with Bitcoin Cash.
I think we're gonna bounce right back. I mean, not to the maybe not to the 7,800 levels, guys, but that's an all-time high. But like, definitely somewhere above 6,000. I think that psychological 6,000. I mean, we've already broken down to 56, 57. I think we're just gonna bounce right back. I mean, that is just such a huge dip for people not to just. This is a sales day for Bitcoin.
I wouldn't be surprised, like literally tomorrow, if we were right here. Like, I'm telling you, I think it's market manipulation, and I think people higher up are benefiting. This is not a candle by any normal people. This is a shit ton. This is a shit ton.
Yeah.
This is not me or you.
Right.
This is not your brother, your mother, your sister, or father-in-law, unless he's got a shit ton of money and owns a hedge fund, or his name's Jihan Wu or Roger Ver or John McAfee. This is not. And
just to point out something that is even more peculiar is the Koreans right now are controlling about $4 billion in the Bitcoin Cash market.
Let's show you guys on the on CoinMarketCap that volume. Where are you on, Bitcoin or Bitcoin
Cash?
So just explain it here so they can see it.
So hit markets.
Yep.
So right now, Koreans are owning around 40% of the entire Bitcoin Cash.
The entire world's Bitcoin Cash
volume, right? So the entire world's, or entirety of Bitcoin Cash's volume. So what does that mean? Well, Korea is a big market. Japan is a big market, but we've never seen levels like this. We've never seen Korea ever pump $4 billion into something without really pulling back. So, is this Chinese investors? Is this Chinese investors that, haven't been able to trade and are finally kind of manipulating the market, kind of holding their bags of sorts? And finally, dipping right back into the Korean market. I mean, it is very speculative, but this could be it. I mean, I really don't think. Basically,
Bitcoin what he's saying is anywhere, right? Korea doesn't have that much money to pump into Bitcoin. Right. A lot of the Chinese investors that can't invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now, are investing in backdoor alleys and all these, different ways, and most likely one of the ways is, using Korea's exchange, BitHum right here, and that's why we see so much volume, and there is a lot of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is tied and related to China. All the mining is there. That is where a lot of Roger Ver and Jihan's Wu precious equipment lives, is over in China. So I definitely think some of their money's coming in through Korea here, which is a lot of money here on this exchange.
I mean, if we want to get really nitty and gritty, let's look at the Bitcoin Cash and the Korean won on BitHum and Coinigy, Sam, and then we'll go over and look at the actual volume candles on the daily. So pretty outstanding here. This is some pretty outstanding work here. So we're looking at these volume candles here. On the Korean exchange. So it got released back in October, and this is just outstanding buy pressure. I mean, this is huge for the Korean markets, and it's been like this ever since, and and the sell volume, it really isn't coming in. So it's literally market, like fresh money being pulled out from either Bitcoin or their Korean won, which here is Korean won. This is the Korean won. This is the Korean won pairing.
I'm just reading the chats. It doesn't. Binance isn't on here. He's saying Bitcoin Cash is crashing on Binance. I don't see Binance on here.
I mean, so let's check it out. Binance is on here.
Binance is there. Okay. Yeah, so, BCH.
So on Binance, it's actually called BCC.
Okay. They have BCC USDT.
Yes, they do. Good call.
Great chart. That looks sick.
Yeah, great chart.
Go back to the Bitcoin one then. BCC, BCH.
So
it plummeted.
It's plummeting right now.
That is crazy. It's $1,200 on Binance.
I mean, let's look on CoinMarketCap if this is real.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. We just dropped another. We dropped 1,000. We're down to $1,000. Didn't I just say this 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
That I wouldn't be surprised if we were right here? If that's right,
let's see if that's real though. Yeah.
If that's right, I'm a genius. If that is right, I'm a genius.
So now,
this could be Jihan Wu cashing out.
This literally could be Jihan Wu cashing out, and I think Binance is located in Hong Kong, so would not be surprised there, guys. Would not be surprised there. Binance 1430 that's what Coinbase is reporting. We're gonna refresh it here. Still 1430, of course. They only update every 10 minutes, and our markets are flying around here. But yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest news we wanted to give you guys. I mean, this is complete market manipulation right now, and Bitcoin just bouncing right back. Super hard bounce back, right back to the 6,000 level, 6,100 already on Coinbase, and that's exactly what we expected, guys. A nice little bounce back. These markets are going to keep tugging at each other, but
Bitcoin's going to come under attack a bunch in the future.
I think blatant attacks of Bitcoin is not smart. We as a community stood together and said, "Hey, we want replay attack protection. We don't want a corporate takeover of Bitcoin." Hundreds of exchanges, hundreds of different little merchants here have even signed agreements that they won't accept SegWit 2x, and they demand replay protection. A lot of exchanges have done the same thing, and pretty much SegWit 2x was canceled, right, or was suspended for the meantime. We don't know if it's actually going to go through or not, and it was canceled, suspended, whatever you'd like to call it. and we are unifying the community, and now this happens. Bitcoin Cash, you know, Jihan Wu and
you know
all
what
the
really
market manipulators.
Sucks? What about all the people that had their Bitcoin on Coinbase on August 1st?
I mean, they won't
still don't have your Bitcoin Cash.
What is that? Is that December 1st or December 31st?
January 1st.
January 1st. Okay, so
that sucks.
Right, it really does suck. I mean, I've already set some stop losses here on Kraken, and that's where I've kept my Bitcoin Cash on because I've just been waiting to get rid of it. Honestly, I mean, I've honestly been just waiting to get rid of my Bitcoin Cash. I knew something like this was going to happen.
So
and,
me personally,
right?
Me personally, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, in order to enjoy some of the run-up of Bitcoin, I sold all of my Bitcoin Cash. And it worked out pretty well. I gained a lot of gains in Bitcoin over the past, couple of weeks. It should have been obvious to me. I unfortunately did not purchase Bitcoin Cash, but I don't believe in it, so I'm okay with that. But I didn't. It should have been obvious to me that with the folks interested in bigger block sizes didn't have anywhere to go other than Bitcoin Cash. But again, I'm not a fan of bigger block sizes, and like I said, I really feel like this is 100% market manipulation, which is unfortunate. And that's the way it is right now with such a small market cap in general. We only have $207 billion in the market as a whole, so it doesn't take a whole lot of money to push things around like this. And unfortunately, new investors, have to, suffer through these kinds of big events like this. And I think that deters new investors since there is so much confusion. But Bitcoin is an awesome piece of technology and then the greatest economy that the world's have ever seen. So it's pretty confusing out there. But like I said, I think it'll come tumbling back down.
Right. And a lot of exchanges that aren't looking at this type of volume are down. BitHum apparently is allegedly down. I just tried to sign into Kraken. It's down.
Wow.
This is insane amounts of volume. I mean, can you refresh that one more time, Sam?
Refresh.
Coin market cap. Sorry.
Market cap.
Yeah, I just want to make sure this is accurate. So yeah, I mean, we jumped up to 22 billion, right, on the 24-hour volume. Now we're down to that 17, 18 billion dollar mark. Obviously, hours have passed since it was 22 billion, but this is some of the largest volume. This is some of the highest trading day. That it's a Saturday too, which is remarkable. Not too many Westerners are keen on trading on the weekends, but it is pretty amazing here. All right, that's about it, guys. I mean, just don't be panicked and go FOMOing in. Really, you should have a game plan going in here, whether it's the same game plan as us or something different. But yeah, guys, just have a game plan. Stay statistical. Stay critical. Stay sharp. Make sure you're staying tuned to these markets, whether you're watching us or somebody else. It doesn't really matter. Just stay educated. Follow the news. Look at the charts. Set your stop losses because these gains are amazing. And whether you believe in Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin, it's always smart to take some profit, or if you believe in it, buy some more. Or if you want to hedge against it, jump into Ethereum or Tether, right?
For sure. And while we're here, check out our website over at cryptosomniac.com. Sign up for our newsletter, and you'll get our hottest 3 picks of the month, as well as a bonus report that we've given to people in the Moon Lounge. They get early access to those reports. Eventually, we'll probably be moving this to a premium subscription type of thing. But as a bonus this month, you'll also get our recent report on Komodo and Monet's, a cryptocurrency project we've been really interested in because it's one of those platforms out there like Ethereum, like Quantum, like Neo, but it runs off of proof of work. And there's definitely key differences in proof of work versus proof of stake. I know so many platforms run off of proof of stake, but it's really interesting to at least entertain Komodo for diversification purposes in your portfolio. So we definitely strongly suggest, learning a little bit more about it. We don't advise, going out and buying a shit ton of it, but download our newsletter or subscribe to our newsletter, and you'll instantly get a copy of that report. So it'll be really interesting to read up on. And Nasha, I read if Bitcoin Cash goes to say 500 or 300, Snay, would you pick some up?
So I've been advocating for the markets to stabilize, but man, I'm just waiting for these markets to stabilize. Like it's not normal for these altcoins, especially these massive billion-dollar altcoins here, to jump up 20-25% with zero news, zero roadmap objectives. No sort of publicity, no sort of conventions that they're attending, and Bitcoin. We all knew Bitcoin was going to run up because of this hard fork. And now that it's canceled, we knew there was going to be some uncertainty. It didn't deserve that 7,500 price. But does Bitcoin Cash really deserve to take any of the credit for the Segwit 2X cancellation? Absolutely not. I don't think it was deserving at all. I don't think just because of the cancellation, it would really pump up that price. I don't think that was intuitive to anyone, really. And I really do think this was a large market manipulation here.
Agreed. The pain of selling my BCH yesterday. What I would do, and in situations like this, I always do it the same way. No one knows when the top or the bottoms are. What I do is you ladder in your orders. Ladder them in. If you wanted to get rid of all your BCH last night, sell a quarter off or a half off. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin today, don't buy it all right now. Like I said, if you have $100 to buy or $1,000 to buy $250 of Bitcoin now. If it drops to $5,000, buy another $250 with that $1,000 that you have. If it drops to $45, etc. Ladder in your orders. Don't try to time the market perfectly. There's definitely on average, the person who structures their orders like that and ladders them in is going to have a better, on average, a better overall outcome than the person who tries to time the market, spot on. So that's what I would recommend. Right. And if you are a fan of BCH, wait till it drops. It's way too high right now. The RSI, like I said, I've never seen something so close to 100 on the chart as BCH is today.
So fib levels don't even apply here. When your all-time high is literally being broken every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, your all-time high is literally being broken that frequently. Just take your technicals and throw them out the window. Because no sort of charting is really going to predict this kind of price action. You could try charting at the bottom. As for right now, I'm looking right now on the 15-minute interval. This is significantly 15-minute interval. We just hit the MACD cross. So we broke past our top, and now it looks like we're headed down. But I'm just gonna throw these technicals right out the window because it doesn't make any sense right now, right? And that's what we titled the video. What the heck is going on with Bitcoin Cash?
And lastly, if you're interested in any of our things, we have a video course online. Check it out. You can learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to chart, how to use indicators, how to open a wallet, how to do everything. It's very encompassing. And we also take one-on-one appointments in which you can do anything you want with us. We'll teach you how to chart or how to set up a wallet or give you, an idea of what our portfolio looks like. And we offer a money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy with it, feel free to let us know at the end of the call. Haven't had anyone yet, but you can always feel free to reach out that way. And if you're interested in joining the Moon Lounge, where we share a lot of our trades on a day in and day out basis, we give you access to reports. We have one of the best cryptocurrency news writers in the space, providing really detailed reports on different projects, and we actually let you guys guide what those reports actually are in the Moon Lounge. Our next one is actually going to be on mining and what mining's all about. And so you get access to that. You get access to Snay and I 24/7. You get access to our team members. You get a couple of group calls each month with the team. Yeah. So definitely consider joining. You can email me at cryptosomniac@gmail.com if you're interested.
Literally 24/7. We don't sleep.
Just like now. It's 11:30 here. Yeah. We're streaming live on YouTube on a Saturday night. Trying to give you guys the best of the best. So Thank you guys all for watching. Hit that thumbs up button. What that does, it'll let other people to know that it was worth the time to watch it. So if not anything, support us with a thumbs up, guys. But thank you all for watching, and remember, stay a crypto-somniac, because the rich never sleep.